So here we are, ready for the first pitch of the women's baseball final. I am your commentator today, Russell Eassom. This game is being produced by Gary Martins, and our cameraman out in the field is Bruno Fortes. Here's the first pitch, which is high for a ball. The batter for the Telford 26ers is Lot Bergstra. She's batting third base. That's another ball high. Lot is a chemistry student at Loughborough. Here comes the third pitch. And I was in for a strike. It is a glorious sunny day here. A little bit of wind, so we'll see how it might affect some balls in the sky. And that pitch is taken for a ball. Now 3 balls, 1 strike. And that is ball 4. So Telford have their leadoff batter on first base. Up to bat now, the first baseman, Natalie Parker. Natalie also plays for the Stourbridge Titans in the West Midlands Baseball League. And she takes that pitch for a strike. Here comes the third pitch. It's also high. Did look like the batter took the first pitch to see if they would get a steal from their runner, but it didn't happen. So we'll see how the stolen base game progresses throughout this first inning. That pitch is for a strike. Looked a little bit high to me, but we'll see how the umpire sets his zone today. Now the count is 2-2. And that's high again. Hastings here has been struggling to get those pitches down, so we'll see how the Telford batters respond. We now have 4 count. And the payoff pitch in there. Oh, dropped by the shortstop, but still gets the chance to make the play at second for the out. So still 1 out on the play there for the Bells. So end up being a fielder's choice. Up to bat now, Elisa Delapaz, who will be pitching for the Telford 26ers. The runner goes and steals cleanly. So runner is now at first base. And that's another high pitch there. And takes the walk there.
Sophie Willis.
Up to bat now is Sophie Willis, the shortstop. Takes that pitch for a ball. Sophie, like quite a few of the playmate members for the Telford 26ers, is a student at Loughborough University. And the runner goes, throws down, it's taken high, and it's safe. It was a good throw by the third baseman, just a little high by the catcher to third base. Tossed a little high, not giving the third base much of a chance to make a play there. So now both runners advance, so we have runners on second and third here for Sophie Willis. Ball in play can give them the lead. That's another high pitch. Two balls, one strike. Here comes the pitch. That's another high pitch. The 26ers have not been swinging really at any of the high pitches, just a couple that have come down into the strike zone. Now 3-1. And the pitch. High, ball four. Up to bat, the second baseman, Meg Gallahan.
Meg Gallahan.
Time just called by the shortstop, just to calm down the pitcher Hastings, who has struggled to find the zone with the first few batters. Just getting a little bit high. Let's see how that just little time to calm down will help her for the next batter, which is Meg Gallahan. And that's almost usual. The little time off helps the pitcher, so gets a strike in for the first pitch. Remember, we are one out here with the bases loaded here on the top of the first. It's ball in the dirt, but picked cleanly by the catcher there. One ball, one strike. Just a bit outside there. Unlike a lot of fields here in the United Kingdom, this is a full-size baseball field, so behind the catcher is quite a long way to the backstop, so we should be seeing runners advance quite precipitously if those balls come in there. Just a little bit late on the drop there for that pitch. So now 3 balls, 1 strike. A walk here will drive in the first run for the Telford 26ers. That's in the dirt. It was ball 4 anyway, but the runners advanced, had a look to see if they could advance any further. But that is a walk to drive in the first run of the day for the Telford 26ers. They now lead 1-0. And coming up to bat now with the bases loaded is the left fielder, Amy Turner. Telford will be looking to tack on as many runs here as possible here in the top of the first. Takes that first pitch for a ball. That's another high pitch. Takes that one for a strike. That's another high pitch. So we're in the same pitch again. 3 balls, 1 strike as we were with the previous batter. Needs a strike here, otherwise we'll walk in another run. And that is a strike. Now, full count here. A big early moment here in the game. A ground ball could be the perfect for the Bells to turn to, or it could drive in a few runs. So we'll see. That is high for ball 4. And a second run scores for the Telford 26ers. Good patient at-bats here from the 26ers to start the game. They are waiting for strikes to be thrown. Up now, the centre fielder, Kath Armstrong. The pitch is in, and strike is called. Looked maybe a little bit towards the outside of the plates, but looks good for height. And a high pitch there, which was swung on, so now no balls and 2 strikes. Where the pitcher Hastings here looking to get the second out of this inning, leaving this one away from just only giving up 2 for the inning. Pitch is in, and on the corner, strike 3. That's now 2 outs for the innings. So a big at bat here for the right fielder, Lauren Ross, with 2 outs and the bases loaded. How many more can the Telford 26ers drive over the plate? Comes the first pitch, and that's outside. Comes second pitch. Looking inside. 2 balls, another patient piece of batting here from the Telford 26ers. Here comes the pitch, and contact is made. It gets to the shortstop. She looks a second and takes the simple out to retire the batter. But the Telford 26ers score 2 runs here on the top of the first and take an early lead. We'll be back to you shortly for the bottom of the first.
Laura Harai.
And we're back now for the bottom of the first here of the women's baseball final here at Farnham Park. This is a Journey Sports Media production. We hope you are all enjoying your game today. Please do like, share and subscribe so others can enjoy the wonders of British baseball. At to bat, the shortstop, Laura Harai. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Here comes the second pitch. In the dirt. Harai has played for both the softball and baseball women's national teams, as well as playing softball in the States. The count is now 3-1. After the pitcher getting their first strike there. And pitch comes in, and that is high. And the runner taking on the pass ball, sprints forward and gets all the way to second. So, good heads-up play there by Harai. Means that she's now on second off the passed ball on strike on the fourth ball. Up to bat now. The center fielder, Jessica Vernon. We'll see how aggressive the Bells will be on the base paths here. She's hit by pitch for the first ball.
Jessica Hastings.
So now we have runners on first and second for the pitcher, Jessica Hastings. Pitcher steps off to look at the runner at second. And the runners go. Ball is in the dirt, does not give the catcher much chance to make that play. So, a successful double steal there for the Bells. Contact is made, it goes up behind, does not give the catcher much chance to make that play. Takes the count to 1-1. Here comes the third pitch, and that is high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. It's in the dirt. Gets past the catcher. And 1 run scores. And the second runner advances to third base. So the wild pitch scores 1 run for the Bells. And the runner, batter, does go to second on that walk. And another heads-up piece of baseball play as the 26ers were worrying about the runner at third. The walked batter steals second again.
Rose Banji.
Now batting the left fielder, Rose Banji. Pitch is in there for a strike. The second pitch is high, gets past the catcher. And a second run scores for the Bells. And some interesting running, the attempted running there by the pitcher Hastings for the Bells. Nearly got herself caught on the base path there, but the out is not made as the ball was not picked up cleanly by the third baseman. So Bells have scored 2 runs here. The score is now 2 apiece here in the bottom of the second. And the count is 1-1 in this. And it goes over the head again. And yes, the third runner will score on another wild pitch there from the pitcher, Del Paz.
Follow the ball and tell the runner to reach the plate.
And now with the bases empty again, let's see how the pitcher does. Gets that one in. Ooh. Ball 4 on the pitch. Oh. Yeah, it looks like that was an error by the umpire. 3 balls, 1 strike. The pitch, and it's fouled off. Oop. So that takes this bat to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count here for Rose Banji. And that is ball 4. Now up to bat, the second baseman, Laura Bales. A nice pick-off attempt there by the pitcher, catching the runner a little bit off guard there, but not picked cleanly by the first baseman, so no tag attempt. The pitch is in there, and it is high for a ball, and the runner successfully steals second on the pitch. And here comes the next pitch. Contact is made. That's going to land in the outfield. The runner on second is sent, and they will score. The throw goes too deep, and gets past the cutoff, allowing the batter to advance to second on that throw. And now it gets into the outfield a little bit, but the runner is happy at second base. So we have our first hit of the day there. A single for Laura Bales, which scores the runner. The Bells take a 4-2 lead here in the bottom of the first. There are still no outs. Up to bat now, the third baseman, Nuri Gimfer. A good block there by the catcher. Stops the runner from advancing from second to third. Here comes the pitch. In there for a strike. Count is now 1-1. Here comes the pitch. And that one is in there. Contact is made. Gets past the third and not picked up cleanly by the shortstop. So the batter successfully makes it to first. The runner at second held as sensibly a runner should. So there were no outs on the play. Bells now have runners at first and second. Up to bat now, the catcher for the Bells, Stella Vesky. And pitch is blocked by the catcher there, but the runner advances from second to third. The runner at first does not follow her lead runner, though. Do very much expect them to be stealing on the next pitch, though, as we probably will not see a throwdown given the runner on third base. Remember, the score is 4-2 to the Bells here with no outs in the bottom of the first. Pitch is in. So, don't know if that was an attempt at a trick play there from the 26ers as the middle infielders came in short on that throw down to second to try and tease the runner from third to go. But now we have runners both on second and third for Stella Vesky. The infield is in short here. Our ball is in the dirt. Here comes the pitch, and it gets past the catcher. It is a walk, but the runner from third does score on the pitch. And that is the 5 runs which we do have as limits on innings here in the Women's Baseball League here in the United Kingdom. So the Bells take 5 from the first inning and lead 5-2 here after the first. So, welcome back for the top of the second here for the women's baseball final here at Farnham Park. We have had a few defensive changes here from the Bells. So, into pitch is the first baseman, Una Yinlin. The pitcher, Jessica Hastings, has gone out to left field. That's forced Rose Banji into third base, and it has changed Nuri Gimfer to first base. Up to bat for the Telford 26ers is the catcher, Rosie Moxham. Here's the first pitch from the lefty unit. Just a bit inside. Here comes the second pitch. Yeah, it's a strike. A lovely pitch there. Next one in there for a strike. Looks a little bit towards the outside of the plate there, but the umpire has given the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 26ers may have to take a slightly different approach here if Inland is pitching much more in the zone than the first pitcher. Just a little bit low there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. See, Moxham is the 9th hitter, so we will see how the approach differs for the rest of the order when they come in to bat shortly. And the pitch. Oof, just a little bit low. Well, that was pretty close to me. Might have given that a strike myself if I was behind the plate, but it's not my decision today. So, full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Comes the payoff pitch. And it is a strike. Swung and a miss. Caught cleanly by the catcher there for the first out of this innings. Nice pitching there from Yinlan. Up to bat now. The third baseman, and back up at the top of the order, Lot Bergstra. Lot walked in the first inning. Oh, and sees a off-speed pitch attempted there by the pitcher, which did not come out of the hand well, so that is a first pitch ball. And the next pitch is in the zone just before the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. And just inside there for ball 3. Una has pitched on 3 occasions before today for the Bells in the season, including a 3-inning performance against the Bristol Bobcats, where she gave up no runs and struck out 5 with just 1 hit and 3 walks, but a lovely strike there. And takes that pitch there now for 3 balls and 2 strikes, a full count. Let's see what we now get on payoff pitch. Hasn't swung at any of the pitches in this at bat so far. What will pitch 6 do? Pitch 6. Ooh. Bit of ducking there by the batter, making it hard to tell whether that would have been in a zone or not, but it probably was a high pitch and a fair walk there for the batter. So, up to bat now is Natalie Parker. Natalie reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning before stealing twice and getting round for a run. And takes pitch for a strike. Umpire given a foul tip there. So 1 ball, 1 strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Sorry, the first pitch was given a strike. Ball in the dirt, but blocked by the catcher, so no chance for the runner to advance. So now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last time she hit the ball straight to the shortstop, but they dropped it, but they did manage to get the out still at second. Let's see if she'll make contact again here. That is a second ball now for 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. And it is another swinging strike out there for Inland. So 2 down here in the top of the second for the Telford 26ers as they look to try and reduce the deficit of 3 runs as they trail 5-2. Up to bat now, the pitcher, Elisa Del Paz. She walked in the first inning, stole a base, and made it round. And takes that pitch outside for a ball. And the second pitch again, low, blocked well by the catcher there. Stops the runner advancing. Takes that one for a strike. Runner drifts a little bit away from first. Teases the catcher to try and throw a back pick, but they make it back standing. So the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Let's see if the runner is a bit more aggressive here. Obviously with the lefty pitcher, it is a little bit more difficult for them to get a bigger lead. And it's a back pick. It was a good throw, but not a great transfer from catching and applying the tag there by the first baseman, so the runner is safe. That throw had been a little bit to the side. It could have been a different outcome there for the runner and the first baseman, but they are safe, and the pitch is coming, and it is high. So that is now 3 balls and 1 strike. 26ers 2 outs here in the top of the second. The pitcher, De La Paz, trying to help herself and get some of the runs back. And contact is made. It lands in front of the third baseman. She throws to second. In time for the out to get the third out of the inning. And so maintain the Bells lead at 5 runs to 2. We'll be back to you for the top of the second, the bottom of the second here shortly. As you can see from that replay, it was probably maybe safe, but those are your breaks sometimes in baseball. So we'll be back for the bottom of the second shortly. So we're back here for the bottom of the second inning. De La Paz is still pitching for the Telford 26ers. Welcome back to the Journey Sports Media production of this Women's Baseball League Finals here at Farnham Park. Batting for the Bells, Emily Wigfall. And first pitch is in there for a strike. So that first pitch was a strike. See now how De La Paz will do in this second inning. Now it's a little bit high. So 1 ball, 1 strike. De La Paz started playing baseball in 2021 and in 2022 was part of the British national team that went to France to play in the European Championships. Ball in the dirt there. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that pitch is in there for a strike. So the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see how the payoff pitch will do here. And the pitch is in, and it's in the dirt. Oh, apologies. Maybe it was 2 and 2, not 3 and 2. So. So, yeah, looks now we're at full count. So, has the payoff pitch. Contact is made, but it is foul down the first base side. So the count stays full. Here comes the pitch, and it is high for ball 4. As again, the runner advances fast, but does not go to second this time around. So, a leadoff walk there for the Bells means up to bat now is the pitcher, Una Hinlin. After pitching a clean inning there in the top of the second, the pitcher, Inlin, has a chance now to advance the runner and give herself potentially more of a lead. Pick-off throw there, not in time. Here comes the pitch, and it is high for a ball. Throw down is not in time, so the runner advanced from first to second. Pitch is in and contact is made. It goes to the third stop who doesn't pick it up clean. So The batter safely reaches first, and the runner advanced to third on the play there. So we have runners on the corners here in the bottom of the second inning for the Bells, and up to bat is the leadoff hitter, Laura Hiraj.
Laura Hirai.
And the pitch goes. Pitch is high. The runner steals. The catcher does not throw. So we now have runners at second and third here for the leadoff batter for Bells Baseball, Harai. Harai walked in the first, stole 2 bases and scored on a passed ball. And now pitch is in there for a strike. Count is now 1-1. Here comes the pitch. It's in the dirt, but it is blocked by the catcher, so no runners advance. So the score is still 5-2 between Bells Baseball and the Telford 26ers. So 2 balls and 1 strike here in this at bat. And here comes the pitch. It's outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. The pitcher does have the first base free, but with no outs, would not like to load the bases for 2 of the better hitters on this Bells team, the second and third hitter. So that just looks a little bit on the outside, so ball 4. So Harai walks for the second time. Up to bat now, Jess Farnham. Jess was hit by a pitch in her first time up and stole a base and made it all the way around, and that is the ball that's evaded the catcher, gets to the backstop. 1 runner scores and all the others advance a base. So another run scored there on a wild pitch, maybe a pass ball by the catcher. So the Bells now lead 6 runs to 2. Here comes the pitch, and contact is made. Goes to the third baseman, who picks it cleanly. The throw is not picked up by the first baseman. 1 run scores, and the second does not. After having a quick look, they throw down to home, but the runner does not do anything. So the batter, after the error at first base, potentially on the throw, also manages to advance to second. A run scored, so the score is now 7-2.
Jessica Hastings.
Up to bat now, Jessica Hastings, the left fielder. And that pitch gets past the catcher, so the runner on third scores, and the runner on second advances to third. Which now means the Bells have an 8-2 lead. That pitch is fouled off. So with no outs here in the bottom of the second, the batter Hastings has a runner on third, which they can drive in with a base hit or probably any contact into the infield. Takes that pitch inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. And it is caught by the first baseman for the first out of the inning. A little bobble, but it is caught on the bare hand after it came out of the glove. The runner at third does not advance.
Rose Bandy.
And that pitch is outside. Batting now is the third baseman, Rose Banji. Rose walked in the first inning and ended up scoring. That's a pitch inside there for a strike. Comes the pitch, and that is fouled off, almost directly back straight to us. So the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bells have 1 out here in the bottom of the second. 3 runs in. And that is dropped by the catcher on the strike 3. Throw to first does get the out, but it allows the runner from third to score. So, a strikeout there on a drop third strike, but allows the runner from third to score. But Telford do have now, they've got 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. So the Bells lead by 9 runs to 2 here in the bottom of the second. And up to bat is Laura Bales. Laura singled in the first inning, driving in a run and getting around herself. Contact is made. It's going up to the third baseman, and they make the out to the third out of the inning. So the Bells increase their lead by 4 runs and now have a 9-2 lead. We're back to you for the top of the third shortly. Back now here for the top of the third inning. Batting is Sophie Willis. That first pitch is in there for a strike. Contact is made and it is in the air and taken cleanly by the shortstop, Harai. Batting now, the second baseman, Meg Gallahan. Takes the first pitch there for a strike. Some efficient pitching here from Yin Lanier at the top of the third inning. That ball gets past the catcher, but there are no runners to worry about, so just takes the count to 1-1. Get past the catcher again. Wind is picking up here a little bit in the afternoon. Could play havoc with some of the fly balls, but they've been handled well so far by the teams. We are at 2 balls and 1 strike here for the second batter. There comes the pitch, and contact is made. It doesn't at all, and it is tracked brilliantly by the shortstop, Harai, who works her way beautifully back and takes that, in fact, relatively easily for the second out of the inning.
Amy Turner.
Up to bat now, Amy Turner. And takes the first pitch there for a strike. And another one. Some very efficient pitching here from Yinlin. And contact is made, gets past the pitcher, they then make the throw, and it does not make it in time. It was a little off from the pitcher there, struggled to pick that up, so the Telford 26ers have a base runner. Up to bat is Kath Armstrong. Scorer has determined that was an error from the pitcher there. So with 2 outs, the Telford 26ers have a runner on first. Ball in dirt, and the runner does not advance. Contact is made. So the count is now 1-1. 26ers looking to chip back at the 7-run lead that Bell's baseball have. Count is 1-1 with a runner on first and 2 down here in the top of the 3rd inning. Pitch is outside for a ball. The lefty pitcher here is keeping the Telford base runners very tight at first, not giving them much of a chance to steal some additional bases. But another ball there takes the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Can Telford punish the pitcher for their own error? That ball is in the dirt, so that is ball 4. So we now have a second runner for Telford baseball here in the top of the 3rd inning. And up to bat is the right fielder, Lauren Ross. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Here comes the second pitch. That is in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher. The runner tries to advance and oversteps the bag and is out. So that is the 3rd out of the inning. And that ends the top of the 3rd. We'll be back to you shortly for the bottom of the 3rd. And welcome back to this Jenny Sports Media production of the Women's Baseball League final. We are here at the bottom of the third, and there has been a pitching change for the Telford 26ers. The shortstop and the pitcher have done a straight swap, so we now have Sophie Willis pitching for the Telford 26ers. At bat for the Bells is Nuri Gimfura, who swings on that pitch. It goes up in the air, and no one gets a chance to make a play on that one.
That was the time, Sophie!
So, the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes against Gimfura. And swing, strikeout there on the pitch. That's a good start for the new pitcher, Willis.
Stella Vesky.
Up to bat now is the catcher, Stella Vesky. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Looks like some good early signs here from the pitcher, Willis. And Vesky swings, but fouls it off down the third base side. So is down in the count, 0-2. And here comes the pitch. And it is fouled again. Ooh, not far away from our third baseman camera there, Bruno Fortes. But that foul means the count still stays at 0-2. Telford trying to get through this inning, giving up as few runs as possible so they can try and make their way back in this game. And Vesky fouls off another pitch for the third one in succession. 3 fouls in a row, but the count does still stay at 0-2. Vesky also plays single A baseball in the mixed league for the Richmond Dukes and makes contact with that down the third base line for a single. Battling AB there from Vesky, eventually managed to time the ball up well and drove it down the third base line for a single. Up to bat now, the right fielder, Emily Wigfall. And the runner goes. It is a ball. And the runner successfully makes it to second there on no throw. And the runner goes again. Contact is made this time. It is a great attempt by the third baseman, but she does not make it. So it is just a foul ball there. Great effort by the third baseman, but they're unlucky and do not get to the ball. Could have a chance had maybe a double play there because the runner had advanced trying to steal third. Count is 1-1 here. The runner goes, swung on, and no throw. So the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes, but the runner is at third base. We have one out here in the bottom of the third with Bells leading 9 runs, 2-2. And the pitch, contact is made. It is straight to the third baseman. The throw evades the first baseman on the bounce, so the runner will advance to second on that error. So the run is scored to now give the Bells a 10-2 lead. But that error does mean that the Bells have another runner on the bases now at second. Coming up to bat is the pitcher, Una Yinlinen. Una reached on an error in the second inning for the Bells. Takes the first pitch in there for a strike. Count is no balls and 1 strike. Pitch comes in and it is high. Takes that one low. Una also plays for the Essex Redbacks teams. She has played games at the AA and AAA level there, and the ball is over the catcher, and the runner advances to third base. Comes the pitch, and that one gets swung on by the batter, but the runner does advance. So that means that the Bells take an 11-2 lead here, but the pitcher does have a chance to get the second out of the inning here, as the count is now 2-2 on the batter, Una Yinlinen. Contact, it goes straight up, and it is taken by the pitcher for the second out of the inning. I see a replay here. Goes straight up, and the pitcher calls everyone off immediately and takes it nicely for the second out of the inning, which means we now go back to the top of the order for Bells baseball, and Laura Harai. And takes that first pitch for a ball. Obviously, we are grateful to have all of you watchers from all the way around the world today. It is amazing to see the people who want to see British baseball in action, and we are delighted to be able to bring it to you. So, hello and welcome to all of our watchers. Please do tell us in chat where you are watching from. We do see we have someone from Japan. And that's a lovely pitch there for a strike. And obviously do tell us who you are supporting. Do please like and share this content with others so they can see somebody's watching, supporting the Bells from Mallorca. Hopefully that's what we can do for everybody who would like to watch and be here today but cannot. They can watch it through us. Yeah, now here comes the pitch. And contact is made. It's fouled up in the air. Pitcher trying to make a way out but does not stand a chance. But that takes it to a full count. And it is a ball. So Harai walks for the third time today.
Farnham.
Up to bat now, the centre fielder, Jessica Vernon. At the end of the third inning, we will be having an interview with Petro Solicito, who is the newly appointed coach of the women's national baseball team. We'll be having a short conversation with him going into the top of the fourth inning. We have a watcher from Tucson in Arizona. Beautiful place. So we'll look to see again how aggressive Harai will be on the paths. She's shown those legs so far to be very aggressive. And the pitch comes in, and it is hit. But it gets to the first baseman. They don't field it cleanly, but they make their way to first to get the final out of the inning and limit the Bells to scoring 2 runs in that inning. But that is 11 runs to 2. Well, hopefully now we'll be joined shortly by Petro Solicito for the interviews. So I'm delighted to be here with the newly appointed manager of the women's baseball team, Petro Solicito or Soliciteo.
Well, it's not the worst.
Yeah, I do apologize.
Solecito is the
Solecito.
for our Italian viewers. Yeah.
Yep. So obviously, congratulations on taking the new role and hopefully driving this women's national team forward on its next cycle. First, I'd just love to give you a little bit about yourself, how you've been involved in baseball. I know very well that obviously you have some sons who play, you've been part of the London Met system in the past, but I'd love you just to give us a quick insight into how you've come to be here. I know it's a long story, but let's have the York notes.
It all started on a bare dirt field in Hoboken, New Jersey. That's where I started playing ball. I grew up there, played through high school, also at Fordham University. I was a pitcher at that point. Finished up my college career and didn't think I was ever going to put a pair of spikes on again until my 9-year-old at the time, Matteo, who's currently in Prague playing with the GB seniors, asked me why I had all this baseball kit and why he hadn't tried it out yet. So that was the incentive to go down to Finsbury Park and start playing baseball again. And then the rest is kind of history. We met with a bunch of kindred spirits who wanted also to play ball, some Brits, some Japanese, some American. And then we just kind of put together a youth program. After doing that for about half a year, the adults pulled me over and said, hey, we hear you're a pitcher, why don't you throw for us? And then I don't need to explain, British baseball from 2009 forward, but We eventually moved back to the States in 2015, where I've been coaching travel ball, high school ball, on an elite level, I would say, which was a great experience going back to that after having sort of the club experience in the UK. Always stayed in touch with GB. Obviously, Alex, who's the younger son, played up through U15, was cheated out of his U18 tournament by you know what, the big C word. Mateo continued on. He's played 15U, 18U, 23U. Just finished his 23U career this year very successfully with a silver medal in Austria. And he's in, as I said, he's in Prague now. I've been in and out of GB. I helped out with the 16U when they went down to Florida as a pitching coach, and this was back in 2013, I think, if not 2012. I also was sort of an ops manager for when they came to Brooklyn for the WBC qualifier in 2016. So that was great working with Liam and Zach Greifsler and Trevor Hoffman, who was the pitching coach, which was an amazing experience. And then just, I've been a parent since then. I heard about this opportunity, believe it or not, from some of the players that are on the field right now. After last summer, a few of them, sent me a, hey, what's up, coach? We hear you might be coming back to Europe. What about, coaching us? And so that was interesting, and I saw the posting come out, and I hadn't actually lost touch completely, because one of the things that I do is I am a visiting player for the CEB tournaments when the London Mets go to Europe.
Yep.
And since they've done that pretty regularly, I've been coming over to Europe pretty regularly and pitching one of the games for them, and fortunately been successful enough. And we went again this summer to Poland and took the qualifier. So that's been fun. And obviously that put me in touch with Drew and a bunch of the boys. Eventually this just became a sort of, it seems like the next thing that I should be doing. Why not? Great getting back on the field with some of the players. I mean, we all know Laura, Rose, who I actually coached in the London Mets when they were youth. We got a few others, surprises, that are hopefully coming back into the game. But, that was a bit long. But I am 53 and I've done a lot of baseball in my life. So.
Yes, I feel that we could talk for the entire game if we wanted. I am a passionate fan of the British baseball over the career, so I've watched some games of you from afar, as well as obviously
Fantastic.
to make out for those games in Brooklyn were a sight to see. Obviously you've come into now in charge of the system. There are 7 female baseball or women's baseball teams here in the UK. What are your initial thoughts of kind of the task that is ahead of you over the next few years into probably the next European program?
Well, I'll tell you, my thoughts are on opposite sides of the spectrum, and I'll explain what I mean. On the one side, living in the States, having lived in Italy, and having lived in a lot of countries in the world, and being in touch with their baseball communities, a women's league is a hard thing to accomplish in those places. Even in the U.S., there's few states that have leagues, and they're certainly not a national league by any stretch. It's a much bigger country. Canada, for instance, doesn't really have a league per se, but somehow the UK got up 7 teams, and from what we can see today, it's halfway decent baseball. I'm not saying it's the cleanest baseball in the world, but it's a game, and we were just sitting back here commenting, hey, it's great watching this, and no slight to softball, than watching a softball game. We're baseball fans, obviously, so we enjoy baseball better. So, I think that says a lot. On the other side of the spectrum, I think on the national side, obviously, we have to get organized. We have to give them an opportunity to develop, give them an opportunity to show what they have, who the actual best roster is, and then go to tournaments and perform. I think we can do that. What is rare is that this happens. 7 teams, they play in a league, they have a final, and they get a good turnout, And I tell you, they're all switched on. They all want to learn. I mean, I ran IO, infield, outfield, for both the third place game and today's game. And I had everyone's eyeballs focused. I had everyone's attention. Everyone's dying to learn. And they're learning in that 10-minute warm-up already. And so you can see it. You can see the energy. And that's great. And I think that's all down to them, all just saying to themselves, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to play this game, even if we have to do it ourselves. Hopefully we give them a hand now.
Yep. And yeah, you have almost like a more difficult road to path than quite a few others, because a lot of these girls, ladies will play in the mixed leagues on like the Sunday. They'll be playing women's games on the Saturday. So your time that's available for you to kind of get them together is potentially a little bit shorter. But hopefully that's something that you guys can work out to kind of give them great opportunities to have development camps, as they've had a few in the previous years, and I think they've all been fantastic whenever they've occurred.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to steal a phrase from a really good friend, Liam, who was
Liam Carroll, yeah.
Liam Carroll was the GB head coach a few years back. He used to always come around to the clubs and remind us that the job of GB was not to replace baseball with baseball. If you're playing baseball, great, get on with it. We're supposed to be there supplementing what's in place. That said, if we get together on a regular basis and we're also keeping tabs virtually, which these days is much easier than it was for Liam, I think there's a lot we can get done in terms of development, player development, team development, program development, and then ultimately getting more and more of these ladies out in the field, girls, ladies, etc. So yeah, no, granted, but I think there's a huge space for something that GB can do, and I think it'll have a big impact on this game, not just the ones that we play in Europe or wherever.
Yes, and so the British team had a good tournament in Euros last year, but obviously it was the French team that progressed on throughout that tournament and were effectively they were playing in Japan a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
and so that's what is available for this British team to actually kind of like aspire to, because as you've said, some of even the countries that have a longer history in baseball do not have maybe the same history in women's baseball, because softball has enough of a presence that it's taken some of that away from them. So actually becoming the best team in Europe is an attainable for a position
last year.
Yeah.
So I mean that tells you everything you need to know. I think in terms of being first in Europe, we're at the same time much closer and much further away than the men. So we're closer because the mountain to climb is shorter. We're much further away because we as a GB program just haven't been organized around it yet. But that's one thing that I'm taking on my shoulders, and I understand, and I think that we'll get it done. And we're going to be relying a lot on the self-starters that are out in that field. So I think, from that to that, like you go around the men's senior team, how many of them have started a UK baseball club? How many of them are starring on that UK baseball club, right? None. So there's a lot of hidden quality. All we have to do is, supplement that with the things that we know that work, give them a plan that we know works, and then just, say, hey, you've been doing this for a few years, supplement it with this, and let's see where we can go.
Yep. No, that sounds absolutely fantastic. I know I have the pleasure of playing with people, women who have played in the GB setup, and they are all excited and delighted that you have joined the system. Obviously, Rose and Laura have experience of you being a coach for them back at the Mets system in that time. But I want to say, Petro, thank you very much for your time. We're obviously looking forward to what you and what the women can do in the not too distant future.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, and thanks to the whole community. Stay tuned. Don't lose sight of the fact that we're going to be here again next year, next summer, and the year after that, and then make sure you're watching 2025, because we all want everyone to book their early flights for 26 when you come and watch us compete for the World Cup.
Yep, that will be the amazing future that we are all aiming for. the men's team in the World Baseball Classic and the women's team in
it.
the World Baseball Cup final. So once again, thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
time, Pietro.
Thank you.
We'll
Pleasure.
hopefully be speaking to you at other points and other women's games that we'll cover in the not too distant future. So while we were chatting to Pietro there, the Telford 26ers have managed to score one run here in the top of the fourth, so the score is now 11-3. We have 2 outs here and runners on third and second. This pop-up is caught by the catcher, and that is the third out of the inning. So the Bells keep a lead, but it has been reduced by 1. They now lead by 11 runs, 2-3. We'll be back to you shortly for the bottom of the fourth. So we are back now for the bottom of the fourth. Pitching is still Sophie Willis for the Telford 26ers, and at bat is Jessica Hastings. We have a shout out from the parents of Lotte Bergstra, who are watching from Groningen in the Netherlands, and that is a great out. Great take there by the third base for the first out of the inning.
Rose Banji.
Up to bat now, the third baseman, Rose Banji. Out. And takes that first pitch for a ball. Rose has walked and struck out one apiece so far this inning. And it goes straight to third base, and they throw it, and it's a little bit offline, so they do not get a chance for the out there at first. That is a base runner here. Up to bat now is Laura Bales. The pitch goes over the catcher.
Sorry, this is Riz Milanzi.
Oh, I apologise. We've had Pride had a pinch hitter here.
And here's Ashley Bradshaw.
This is now Ashley Bradshaw. Apologies, it was Riziki Milanez who was hit by pitch at the last at bat. And at bat now is Ashley Bradshaw.
Oh, hi, sorry. There's only one guy walking around this outfit.
You've already been interviewed, so you know, you're already
Fair. Are you a player as well?
I am, yeah, great.
Here comes the pitch. Now it gets through and past the catcher, but the runner at third does not make an effort. So, no run advances, but the runner does go from first to second. So, with one out here in the bottom of the fourth, the Bells have runners on second and third with their 11-3 lead. And just a bit outside. The count is now full. And here comes the payoff pitch. And contact is made. Oh, the melee is made by the second baseman, but a throw to try and get the runner out at second enters the outfield, so the runner at third advances on that error by the second baseman. So the Bells get their 9-run lead back and lead by 12 runs to 3. At bat now for the Bells is the catcher, Stella Vesky. And they throw back to the runner at, and get the runner at second for the third out of the inning. A great pick-off move there by the catcher. So the Bells tack one more on and have themselves a 12-3 lead. We'll be back here for the top of the fifth shortly. And welcome back to this Journey Sports Media production of the Women's Baseball Final here at Farnham Park. We are now into the top of the fifth for the Telford 26ers. They are now obviously 9 runs behind. This is a 7-inning game here, but the mercy rules do come into effect after 5 innings of complete baseball. So it is a 10-run mercy rule. So with being 9 down, Telford will try and score as many here as possible to stop the Bells having a chance at getting the mercy in the bottom of the fifth. And
Oh, we've been asked to choose the MVP, by the way.
so we have 2 and 2 here in this bat. Telford looking to try and get some early base runners in this inning to give them a chance of, oh sorry, it was 3-2, so that is ball, that is ball 4. So the Telford 26ers do have their leadoff runner on base.
Amy Turner.
Up to bat now is Amy Turner. That's a strike. Once again, 26ers have struggled to force stolen bases once. The Una has come in to pitch. Being a lefty, she's held them very close to first, and we've not seen the same level of aggressive base running. Ball in the dirt, does go in front of the catcher. The runner goes and is safe at second. So, while pitch there does allow the runner to advance to second base. Pick-off play does not get the out, so that takes time. Here comes the pitch. And that's a bit outside. For a ball. Here comes the pitch. That one's in the dirt in front of the plate. Patient at bats here from the Telford 26ers batters. After Callahan took the walk, will Turner do the same? That one is in the dirt. The runner also advances to third and is safe. So Telford have runners on the corners here with no outs.
Armstrong.
Up to bat now for the 26ers. Centre fielder, Kath Armstrong. So runners on the corner here. And big swing on that first pitch. And here comes the pitch again. And another swing on that one. Takes the count quickly to 0-2. The runner on first has not tried to steal so far. Very much expect the throw would not go down. Doesn't have to take a big lead against the lefty. And here comes a pitch, and that is in there for the strike. So that is the first out of the inning. That is one out here. So we have runners on first and third here for the Telford 26ers, trying to score runs here to get the game back, being 12-3 down. That first pitch is in for a strike. Looked a little bit high there, but we'll see what we get on the next pitch. And the runner goes. Get pulled. And that is strike 3 for the strikeout. And yeah, we're back here now. Telford 26ers have runners on second and third, but now have 2 outs. Really looking to try and get some runs back here because we will get close. The mercy rules will come into effect in the bottom of the 5th, so the Bells will only need to get a 10-run lead to walk off the game. So Telford really need to get the runs here in the top of the 5th. And a big swing on that pitch, but is under it for a strike. And contact is made. It gets to the third baseman, and the throw is straight to the first base for the out, which means the Bells get out of the innings without giving up a run. So Bells baseball will now need to score just 1 run here in the top of the 5th, bottom of the 5th, which we'll have shortly to walk off this baseball game by the mercy rule. We'll be back for you shortly. Was a great play by the third base and a good catch at first. So we are coming into the top of the 5th here at the women's baseball final here at Farnham Park. Journey Sports Media are delighted to have been able to bring you this production today. Please do like, share and subscribe so people can be aware of the great offering we have for British baseball here this finals season. Here comes the first pitch. It's in there for a ball. Sophie Willis is still pitching for the 26ers, and up to bat is the catcher, Stalaveski. As we said at the top of this inning, we are now into mercy rules. So if the Bells score 1 run, they will win this game by a mercy rule, as they get that 10-run lead, which would take them to 13-3. So here comes the pitch. That's got past the catcher. And that is ball 4. So the winning run for the Bells is on first base.
Russell Eassom.
And the runner steals on that first pitch, which is in for a strike. We have a new batter here, Lucille Luckhurst. And the runner steals all the way to third as well. So off the back of that, the winning run is now just 90 feet away from home. So here comes the pitch with that winning runner 90 feet away from home. And that is a ball. And contact is made. It gets past the infield, but the runner is not advancing. Up to bat now is Kate McGugan. Fouls the pitch off. Here comes the second pitch. And it is fair, and we have the out at first. So up to bat now for Bells Baseball is the leadoff hitter, the shortstop, Laura Harai. And that's outside. The runner does not advance though. And this time it is blocked. Time called by the manager. So after that coach's visit, they have decided to intentionally walk Laura Harai. So that takes her that takes her up to 4 walks for the day. 3 earned, 1 intentional. But as we said, the winning run is on third, so a walk now will drive in the winning run. Here comes the pitch. That's blocked by the catcher. So that's 1 ball. So Telford's infielders and outfielders are all in. Contact is made. They get 1 out.
That's it.
But the runner has scored, and that is ball game.
That's ball game.
So, Bells Baseball win by mercy rule. They have taken this game 13-3 here in the bottom of the 5th.
We're gonna warm up.
So, I want to just say thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here today for the women's baseball final between the Telford 26ers and Bells Baseball. Our winners this season, after finishing runners-up last season, the Bells Baseball are the winners today. Congratulations to all of them. I hope very much you have enjoyed our production today. I have been Russell Eassom. Working the production today has been Gabby Martins, and our cameraman out in the field has been Bruno Fortes. We are Journey Sports Media. Please do like, share and subscribe so others can learn about the offering we have for baseball in the United Kingdom. Please do join us for more streams and more things to come in the off-season. We'll speak to you another time. And remember, boys and girls, it's all about the journey.